Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I just wanted to touch on why I think you need a hobby. So let's get into it. I think it's quite important to have a hobby or hobbies, and I have quite a few hobbies. I have quite a lot of interests. At the moment, I'm not able to get involved in those hobbies because I am trying to build my own home for my family. So that's kind of a hobby anyway, because I really enjoy building and creating things. So I'm quite lucky with that. But I certainly have quite a few hobbies, and I think it's quite important to have these for everybody. You know, if your hobby is something more going on Facebook or watching something on social media, I don't think that's too good. I know we're sitting here, I'm making content and bringing it to you, and you're sitting at the other end and watching the content. And that may be of an interest to you, which is great. But I also think we shouldn't spend too much time in front of computers because I don't think they're great for both physical and mental reasons. I think venturing outdoors, fresh air in the lungs, doing some kind of exercise, something associated with outdoors, can be really good mentally and physically, and good for the soul and the spirit. I think if you truly love your hobbies, if you can get outside, are passionate about it, I think that's how we can find happiness in the world. And I think if some people had hobbies like that, you know, they were truly passionate about, had a real interest, there would probably be less drama, less conflict in the world today. Another really positive thing about hobbies is you can meet like-minded people that share similar interests, and you can connect with them, and you'll never do that at home. I know a lot of computer-based kind of programs, games have changed quite a lot now. You can interact with people on kind of war games, build kind of teams, but it's not the same as going out and maybe doing something like walking in the hills or running or swimming, where you can build strong kind of physical bonds with like-minded people, not a kind of digital kind of aspect. I mentioned I had a lot of, or I have a lot of hobbies earlier in the video, and my hobbies are quite centered around outdoor kind of hobbies. I used to do a lot of snowboarding, downhill biking, cross country biking, running, walking, scrambling, climbing, fishing, shooting, just anything kind of outdoors I really enjoyed. I wouldn't say I got into any of them in quite an in-depth kind of level. It was just more kind of middle ground, kind of general. I know some people get really into stuff, it becomes quite an obsession and they get really nerdy about it. I wouldn't say I get that much into a hobby. I just enjoy the hobby, and just do it when I can. I think where it all started is, you know, my dad used to take me out fishing and shooting, and we used to go down to a nearby farm to do the shooting, which was great fun. It was outdoor in the fresh air and just kind of walking about fields in the mud and with the dog. It was good time. It was good times, and you know, you develop that bond with your father, which was really good. Same with the fishing. You develop a really good bond with your father. I did in my case anyway, and with my mum and my brothers, because we used to all go to the ponds and do that. As I kind of grew up, I didn't drift away. I drifted away from the fishing and shooting. I still really enjoy it, but I got more into, because as I got older, I got more into biking, kind of cross country, and then I like to kind of push the limits. So I got more into downhill biking, and I created kind of friendships through that, where I could go in the forest, do a lot of downhill biking, I managed to go to France and go into some of the big areas there where I was mentally and physically challenged, which was really good fun. And then as the love grew for the mountains, it kind of went into snowboarding, and I developed friendships through that. Ended up going to Canada to kind of pursue my snowboard kind of dreams and that kind of time out. And I developed friendships there, nice kind of bonds, which I still keep in touch with people in Canada and America. And then when that kind of time finished over that year of traveling and snowboarding, and I'd done a lot of other hobbies while I was in Canada because it's quite an outdoor kind of country. And then I would go on holidays by myself because it gave me that confidence to go in, and I would make friends when I was on these trips. So it was a great confidence builder. I didn't have a lot of confidence prior to Canada. And I've created new friendships, seen the world. So the hobbies have a great positive kind of attitude in my life, and it's shaped me into the person I am today. Meeting people through hobbies, it's great that we can have those things in common, and we learn individually but learn together. We can share ideas. People don't have to be enemies. We're allowed to disagree. That's nature. That's every kind of human right. We can disagree on stuff, but we can agree as well. But if we always focus on the negativities, I think we get more conflict. It's not healthy. There's more negative energy in the world. We don't need any more conflict. There's just enough going on. But we need to focus on the positive aspects. But if you have a hobby, tell me about it. Do you have similar hobbies to what I have, or something completely different that I've never heard of? Do share in the comments. It'd be nice to hear. I think another good thing about a hobby is, you learn to ride a bike from a young age, and once you've learned, you never really forget. But jumping on a bike and doing downhill is quite a mentally and physically challenging sport. It's also very dangerous as well, depending on how hard you want to push it. And I've had some quite big crashes. I have all the protective gear. I look like a bit like Robocop when I'm all kitted up. But I've had accidents where I've not worn the correct equipment and I've ended up in hospital, and I've learnt my lesson. The point being is, what I'm trying to say is, downhill biking you can't learn overnight. It takes practice. If you want to go faster and faster down a trail, it takes practice, and I think that's quite good. It's the same with snowboarding. You can't just jump on a snowboard. It takes practice. You have to start slow, practice your turns, and then build up to going quite fast. And I wouldn't say I really enjoyed going fast on a snowboard. I enjoyed more the technical aspect. I enjoyed off-piste a lot, but that was more because I could get away from people. Piste, snow areas, resorts are just too crowded for me. I really struggle with that kind of chaos, so I like to be away from it. So off-piste really is nice for me. And it's good, sometimes with cross-country biking, you can do the long trails, which maybe a lot of people don't go on. But you can't just learn snowboarding either. And that creates quite a good discipline in an individual. A lot of people they're not willing to put the effort in now. And I think that's quite bad. You need discipline. You need to learn how to work at something hard to obtain that goal. It doesn't need to be snowboarding or biking. It can be a job, starting at the bottom and working your way up to that CEO if that's what's important to you. The point being is, it takes time, it takes dedication and sacrifices of whatever level depending on where you're going. So I believe hobbies are important in creating that that discipline in you, especially at a young age, that maybe you can carry on in life. I think the smartphone is quite a major culprit to that. Kind of people just want to just sit there, be entertained, buy something through the phone in their hands, and that creates all that kind of lack of discipline. And the world's not like that. We need discipline in a way. I think it's healthy, but don't get too wrapped up in smartphones. I think when you try and take a step back and look at them, you can see they're not healthy. They keep you hooked in. They don't let your brain process correctly. They can give a kind of false impression in life. Take a step back, get involved in hobbies and make friendships, create bonds, discipline yourself into really achieving some skills, whether it be fishing or snowboarding or skiing, whatever your interest takes. Well, thanks for joining me on that video today. I hope you got this far, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.